Well, we need to welcome you back to the big story, and we're with it today. And we're talking about the recent release Corruption Perception Index coming from no other but Transparency International, saying we're now 145 out of 180 countries, and we're one of the most corrupt on the continent. Our point, which is 25%, is far cry from the 33 that should be for sub-Saharan Africa, and many are already questioning all the impact, all the move being made by this administration. Why is it not truly bearing fruits? But anyway, that's what we're still having. I would say I have no other person, but Comrade Emeka Wokocha right here in the studio, helping to really give us an insight into all of this. But what I'll plead with you now is that we need to go on a break, get message from our sponsors, Benetta Gas and Uzo Furniture. And when we come back, more discussion on the big story for today.
Oh, yeah, follow Uno Road, auto better quality. If you dey talk gas matter, oh, yeah, follow Benetta. Gas with the better quality, Benetta gas. Gas where they full rich man to Benetta gas. Home delivery brother na sharply, Benetta gas. For Benetta gas, no mago, Benetta gas. Different type of gas cylinder, Benetta gas. Gas wey go last you well, na Benetta gas. Benetta now do Benetta gas. Service in a them they run Benetta gas. Benetta make you carry go.
For gas matter and home delivery, make you wire Benetta gas plant for 080-6745-7890 and 080-5904-7722. Benetta gas plant, the Etekwele of gas matters.
It's colorful, so colorful, wow! It's Uzo Furniture and Interior Merchant, a leading name for luxurious furniture at ultra-modern super showroom. Well stocked is now located near you for the sales and installation of long-lasting exotic and quality interior and exterior furniture for your living space, such as foreign Turkey royal chairs and sofas, glass, wooden and marble royal dining tables and chairs, conference tables and chairs, executive office tables, reception tables, orthopedic office chairs, etc. Uzo Furniture and Interior Merchant has in stock royal king-size and queen-size beds, wardrobes, mirror consoles, wall frames and artworks for decoration, wine bars, big TV shelves and TV stands, gym equipment like motorized gym bicycles, gaming chairs, treadmills, outdoor swing chairs, etc. All at affordable prices. We deliver with our vehicles. To make your home cozy paradise, locate our super shop along DSC Expressway opposite Platinum Banquet Place, beside Ugbolo Junction, Efru. To call 086-394-398 or 003-37179. So Furniture and Merchant for comfortable home interior furniture experience.
Well, you need to experience the beauty of being a part of us, and that's why we implore you to get all your businesses and goods and service and bring them over, and let's say I can talk business, and you'll be a part of the big family on the big story of Quest today. But anyway, we're still looking at it, and I said we still have our guest, Comrade Emeka Wokocha. Before we went on the first break, we talked extensively about that very report and what does it mean for a country that is already grappling with a whole lot of insecurity, bad economy, all hinged on the pure fact that corruption seems to be a way of life of the people. Sad it might sound, but that's how the true impact it has. An impact we might really be looking at very soon. Let's come to it now. We heard the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, said corruption and bad governance has been the reason for the growing insecurity in the North. I could still remember he said this on Saturday while he was a guest at the Sir Ahmadu Bello Investor Lectures, an award that was held in Borno State under the host, talking about Borno State Governor Babangana Zulum. But that's one of many corruption has been. But I want us to really look at what has this been to the people, or what has it bring to the people of Nigeria. We're talking about corruption. How much impact has this had on the general life? Yeah, he talked about insecurity as one, but that many is one out of many. So let's look at the real impact corruption has had on the people of this country.
Okay, let me put it this way. How would you describe Nigeria? Ordinary Nigeria is not a poor country, right? No. Yes. Now, Nigeria is richly endowed.
Concerns
Nigeria
mineral resources
is
and
endowed.
Human capital
Nigeria
development.
can be, unarguably, be described as a wealthy nation. More so, let us even, limit our analysis on the oil wells and gas resources.
That we do have.
With that alone, this country, could meet the needs of its citizens. But now, it's not an irony that a supposedly rich country, about 133 million Nigerians, as of 2 years ago, 2022, were multidimensionally poor. A country that is richly endowed, rich in oil resource, 7th largest producer of crude oil in the whole world. They are not talking about, humongous gas deposits that is yet untapped. Bringing such, 133 million Nigerians multidimensionally poor, according to MBS. And that was 2022, before the first subsidy was removed. So, by the current trend, you should be able to know that that figure must have increased. And in June 2023 precisely, when Nigeria when the country did what is called Nigeria Development Index analysis, the World Bank came out with, a caution that 4 million Nigerians, that Nigeria is among the countries that has the highest inflation rate, which has pushed about 4 million Nigerians into the poverty line. So when you add that to the 133, you are getting 137, and you are still, if you go by thorough analysis, you will agree with me that that figure must have increased in a country that is richly endowed. Now, the problem of it is because the resources over the years had been badly managed, had been mismanaged because of what? Corruption. So, corruption has denied this country the needed infrastructure. Corruption has denied this country the needed job opportunities. Corruption has denied this country accountability, good governance. And it has multiplier effects. And you agree with me that most viable industries in this country, had closed down over the years. If you're talking about automobile, if you're talking about textile, if you're talking about, all sectors, what about the steel? What about the refineries? So in all, you now discover, not that these industries were just closing down on their own. It's as a result of mismanagement. And what is the mismanagement is that when the chief executive and his cronies are appointed, instead of, using the money that comes from that investment, to ply it and ensure that that investment is grown further, they rather kill it, eat the proceed, and at the end of the day, that investment becomes moribund. So corruption is the problem in the center point of our woes as a country. So it has a lot of, negative impact that cuts across board. So whatever situation you find ourselves currently, now even at this stage now where petrol is sold at 650, you will recall that the cost of it was because our refineries are not working, and even when the government came up with that beautiful policy of fuel subsidy, which ordinarily is a beautiful policy, you still agree with me that the government had lamented that people that were manning the subsidy, were corrupt, and they had caused a breach whereby the subsidy money, had been diverted into private pockets. So, in other words, resulting in the removal of subsidy, which has put us where we are at this alarming stage, where everything now is somersaulting on the head of the common Nigerian. So, corruption is the bane of our development. Corruption is the cause of our troubles and woes. Corruption is everything evil about this country. Okay. And it's obviously clear and glaring before everybody, and even themselves, to even make you understand, even those at the government will come to tell you that corruption is the bane of our underdevelopment. And that will tell you.
They've said it, and I still want us to remain with this administration. Because this administration said strike. They know all of these problems.
You know. Yeah.
We're dipped into an economy that's quickly shrinking. We're dipped into insecurity. That's now the order of the day. We're also dipped into the issue of not having a clear understanding of which direction to go. But in all of this administration said they'll take giant strides in turning the economy, turning all the sad narrative around. And a clear example is what they did for the 2024 budget of 27.12 trillion naira, where they had about 6.75 trillion being budgeted for defense, education, and also for road rehabilitation. But the question still remains, can this giant stride be attained if the issue of corruption is not dealt with? Or it just will be a dream in the pipeline?
Okay, you agree with me that the government understands these narratives very well, even better than I do. So the problem there is now that the onus lies on the managers of Nigerian administrative system, to hit the ground running, to purge themselves of corruption. Because they say he that goes to equity must go with clean hands. So the presidency, can do marvelously well. You cannot fault his capacity. You cannot fault his academic prowess. You cannot fault his intelligence. But the only thing now, that is at stake is, does he really have that integrity? Does he have that patriotism? Is he really willing to make the sacrifice?
Political will.
Political will. Because he demands sacrifice. I have said time without number, when I made analysis of Singapore, how they leapfrogged into stardom, you could relate it to one man, Lee Kuan Yew.
And who was the leader there?
Who was the leader there? From 1965, when they break away from Malaysia. Lee Kuan Yew, he wasn't a superhuman. He does not have two heads, or rather, he never had two heads, but he was a patriot who said, though we had it, nothing. Malaysia was as poor as the Churchites. Never, no resources. Even when they left Malaysia, the world was like, how are you guys going to survive it? But they stuck their head to it and said, we are going to prove a point. And proving a point is that every kobo we generate would be used judiciously for the betterment of the country and the people. And that was actually what actually made Lee Kuan Yew to achieve it. With his proactiveness, his innovation, he garnered his men together, good men, good Singaporeans, who believed in the growth of the country and set a timeline for them. And at the end of the day, followed it religiously, believing that they have a cause, they have a vision. And today, after 35 years or 30 years, 3 decades, he came out to write a book from third world to first world. Today, Malaysia could be ranked among the most developed countries in the world. This happened before our very eyes. If Malaysia could achieve it, what about this country that is so much endowed
with human
and material resources? Just mention it across board. So it is all about a people believing in what they actually need and going after it. And who will lead it? Governance. The people in government are always the people that charts the road to success. Because it is what you bring on board that the people would follow.
Of course.
Ordinarily, I do say that nations don't fall from the blues. Nations are made. Who makes nation? It's the government. Because the government are the ones that churn out policies for good governance. The government are the ones who come out, who bring out, the principles and constitution through which the government could be run. So, in other words, good men are supposedly the people who should drive the course of governance. Of course. Because the people that will lead the people at the church. It's like a commander leading his troops. So, leadership is all about taking the commander role. As in, going after your enemies and conquering. And that commander must have what it takes to be able to lead the troops. So the government, the governor, the president, the members of House of Assemblies, they are these commanders I'm talking about. Because the reason they are there is that the country is existing. The reason they are there is that the Nigerians are alive and we have a nation. So if they should crumble the country, automatically Nigeria will fizzle away. So these things are doable, these things are achievable. You don't need rocket science to achieve all this. But patriotism, the political will, the love for the people, and the people see themselves as servants. You know, business or governance is not a tea party.
Of course not.
It's a whole bag of problem awaiting solution.
But let's still remain with this administration.
Yes.
And you just said this can never be done if the willpower is not there. But let's look at their present fight against corruption. I just want your assessment on it, and a keen one on that. Yes, we've had the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation being suspended and being probed by the EFCC. Just like you also narrated, we've had the CBN also being probed, and we've had an independent presidency investigator.
Obaze.
Yes, Obaze, saddled with the responsibility of checking the books, auditing the books, which he said he has come up with a whole lot of revelation. Let's leave the revelation, or we'll not leave here anytime soon looking at that. And we've not only had that, but we've also had major names being mentioned, and also present party men also being said they will be probed. Undermining, we have that of even Abga, former governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano being also. But let's look at all of this. Are you confident with the approach of this administration as it concerns the anti-corruption war?
Sir, let me give one analysis. In June 10, 2023, during the valedictory session of the National Assembly,
yes,
there was a scenario that played out. The senator representing Bauchi North
said his wife Zainab,
yes, in the person of Adamu Bukachua, said his wife that he used his wife, who was the justice of
the appeal court,
and the president of the Court of Appeal, as it were then, to influence court judgments in favor of some of his colleagues.
So he said.
What are you talking about? He came out in the open to make such a statement, such a revelation. Sir, let me tell you, you can't come in the open and say one thing, then you go behind and do another thing. See, transparency is so glaring that when you bring it on board, you know, it testifies for itself. I didn't see the government, you know, calling that man to order. I didn't see the government arresting him. That is a statement made by no other person than a former senator, indicting the judiciary. And not only that, when Datijo Mohammed of the Supreme Court was retiring after 40 years,
and he made a weighty allegation.
Made a mind-blowing revelation, allegation against the judiciary. These things are in the books. Now, if we truly have a government who is ready to clean the audience table, when these things are done, not that he does not know, now it is brought in the open, revelations made, allegations made by no less such caliber of personalities. Would the government not come up with another style of policy to at least speak to these issues? Let Nigerians know that you are pained that such thing could happen within that sector.
Period.
But if you keep quiet in the law court, you know, silence automatically means consent. That means that you are not troubled about the way the situation things are. See, let me tell you, sir, we must not gamble with governance. We must not toy with the future of the people. Because everything about the citizens starts and ends with governance. That is the reason the citizens must be awake and open their eyes and interrogate government principles and actions, because what happens there will determine your fate in your home. Now, we are suffering in this country not because we never had money. Look at the Naira now at free fall. When I got the latest rates, I was like, what is all this? From such analysis, if you are not a man who has courage, you would think it is over for the country. How would you exchange a dollar for 150 something naira? You are not even talking, 1,000, you are not even talking a pound sterling. Oh, Mr. Mike, automatically it's more or less like everything is gone. And this was a country yesterday here, even during Jonathan era, how much was the dollar? So you come to really understand that the issue about this country is one about incompetence, two about mismanagement of our resources, three about systemic corruption, which is totally endemic, four, the unwillingness of those who are managing our resources to nip this mess in the bud. So at the end of the day, this mess has accumulated and has put us in a state of quagmire where currently now the average Nigerian man cannot afford food. Does it not surprise you? Is it because you don't see Nigeria hit the street to start lamenting? We that live in the suburb, we live with the commoners, we know what Nigerians feel. The way it is going currently now, you do not have an economy. Economy where you do not certify, or you can say the price of bread today will be the price of bread you buy tomorrow. Everything, the inflation keep rolling in. Like I do tell you, when they say the inflation as at last month, however, stood at 27%. 28.2%. I told you, wherever they got that statistics, they should go back to drawing boards. Every day, if you buy bread today, tomorrow you are coming back, there's increase. If you buy whatever today, tomorrow you come back, there's increase. I have never seen where, economy can be messed up in such a manner.
We'll not increase our time in going on a break. I'll plead with you. We need to do that now. But when we come back, we'll continue our discussion centered on the issue of corruption and how much of a problem it has been to us, looking at the recent release statistics, or index rather, coming from Transparency International, saying that we're now 145 out of 180 corrupt nation in the world. Well, let's go on a break then.